Actually, my last book haul was also a reading wrap up because I was an authentic reader and actually read all the new books I received. That doesn't exist today. The UPS guy just kept showing up to my house every freaking day. I know him by name. We're best friends. You my bro, Larry. So a lot of these books I mentioned in my most recent new releases video, so I apologize if I'm repetitive. You're not here for the books anyways. You're here for me, right? Right? But hey, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss all the hottest new book releases. This channel will fulfill your fantasies. I'm not joking, just look to my left. Right there. And please leave a comment down below and tell me how you're doing. You're doing good, I hope so. First order of business. Wrath by John Gwen. If you saw my sappy apology video, link down below. I need to apologize. I messed up and it's totally on me. I'm making my way through the Faithful and the Fallen series, so I'm slowly buying the rest. I found this one used for only like $6, I think. Damn! In its brand new condition. This is the fourth and final book. All I need now is the third one, which is called Ruin. Oh, and I switched around my books recently, and now I have them displayed right behind me up here. I have Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. This was sent to me from Saga Press. Thanks so much to them for giving me the opportunity to own this beautiful finished copy. And when I say beautiful, that is not understated. Just look at this map. And there's also one in the back. Like, they're freaking beautiful. This has been getting 5 stars across the board. I also believe that it's part of the Goodreads Choice Awards this year. Everyone is raving about how good it is. Honestly, I originally thought that this was a sci-fi because the cover screams sci-fi to me, but it's actually a high fantasy world with a civilization inspired by pre-Columbian Americas. It centers on 4 characters who have destinies all intertwined with one another in a complex world. This is also the same author who wrote Trail of Lightning. She's just blessed with pretty book covers. It begins in a city where it's the winter solstice, which is typically celebrated, but this year it clashes with the solar eclipse, a rare celestial event that dictates unbalance. This has the potential to be a favorite book for me. Now I'm just going to be disappointed. More than likely not. These next 2 books were sent to me from Angry Robots, so thanks so much to them. They've really been on a roll lately, I feel like, and have been on my radar much more as of late. You go, Angry Robots. So the first one is Refraction by Christopher Hines. I think that's how you say the last name.
Hines or Heinz.
We finally get to see this beauty in person. I mentioned it in my previous video that this cover looks like artwork that would be hanging up in a museum. It's very artsy and abstract. I absolutely love it. Also, it's even cooler in person. The lines going across right here are actually rainbow.
Makes sense since the book is called Refraction.
So this is following a character who has a psychic power, and he learns he was a part of an illicit experiment as a baby and embarks on a perilous hunt to find those responsible. Sounds kind of superhero to me, which is pretty cool. And then I have The Rush's Edge by Ginger Smith. This is a sci-fi adventure story full of action, apparently. It follows Halvard, who is a genetically engineered ex-soldier, and they fight back against the government that created him and others like him to be expendable slaves. A bit of a conspiracy in the middle of space. I'm totally here for it. It's supposed to be an easier going sci-fi, so if you're looking for that, be sure to add this one to your TBR. So full transparency, Orbit sent me 8 books, which I am so appreciative of. I might as well slap a freaking Orbit Books logo on my face because, I mean, that's all we talk about on this channel. Honestly, I'm just waiting for a mascot job opening at this point so I can apply. Oh, that's what I should have been for Halloween. I even have a book here that comes out in January. I say that like it's far away, but really it's not. The Children of Red Peak by Craig DeLuey. I actually love this cover. The browns, the oranges, the blacks. They leaped straight off the book and landed me smack in the middle of a Starbucks buying my 15th pumpkin spice latte this season already. I made that up. I don't drink coffee. Ugh. But you won't need a coffee to keep you up all night when you're reading this because this is a coming-of-age cult horror story mixed with psychological suspense. Hey, spooky season ain't over until December 21st, my birthday. Some argue it's never over. I have to agree. This follows childhood friends who live in a respective religious community, which starts off all uplifting and wholesome until it turns nightmarish. This releases on the 17th. The Tower of Fools. This is the new but also not new book from the author who wrote the Witcher series. It's been out for years, but was translated and re-released in English, which is really exciting. This is a bit different than The Witcher. It's more on the historical fiction side with humor, intertwined with some very dark moments. It's set in medieval Central Europe, basically following a hero on a journey. It's the first book to a trilogy, which I expect to also be translated in English, so if you're a big fan of this author, it's a great time to pick this one up. The Mask of Mirrors. This was such a surprise release. Well, it releases on January 19th, but I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere and it sounds amazing. It's the start to the Rook and Rose trilogy, a rich and dazzling fantasy adventure in which a con artist, a vigilante, and a crime lord must unite to save their city. There's supposedly rune-based magic, which I feel like you don't see that often, and I'm just really excited for it. It's also adult, by the way. I really want to mention that because there is, I think, heavy explicit scenes. If a book is published by Orbit, it is adult. Please remember that. So I have two books to show you next, and they are part of the same series. The first one is The Shattered Realm of Ardor Ben, which is book 2, and then we have The Last Lies of Ardor Ben, which is book 3. This one comes out in November, and this one comes out in December. If you're confused because you have seen these books before, that's because you're right. These books actually are being re-released with beautiful new covers, and I much prefer these covers. I love fantasy landscapes and I want to see it more. I've honestly come to realize that fantasy landscapes on book covers are my favorite. I think as a fantasy addict, it's diving into a new world that we look forward to the most, and being able to glimpse that is adrenaline inducing. If you like heist stories that involve thievery and schemy characters, assassins and the like, then you should check these out, and I'm so excited to binge all 3 of them. The Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter. Look at that dragon boy. So this is the sequel to The Rage of Dragons, which I really enjoyed last year. This releases on November 10th, and it's an African-inspired fantasy with dragons, and no, it's not your generic dragon story at all. It's very original, and this sequel is apparently described as a Rage of Dragons on steroids. I'm here for it. This author knows just how to play with the reader's emotions. In fact, the vibe and just scope of the world reminds me of the Poppy War in a way. There is so much action in this series, and I expect this one to take it up a notch. Call of the Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. This is an adult fantasy series. The sequel to The Bone Ships came out last year. One of the coolest elements to me about this series is that there are ships made from dragon bones. And the main character is the captain of the Tide Child, which is a black ship, a ship of the dead. It's crewed entirely by people who have been condemned to die for one reason or another. And if you weren't sold on the book already, you have until the 24th to change your mind, because that's when the sequel comes out. King of the Rising by Kacen Callender. My first experience with Kacen Callender was last year when I read Queen of the Conquered. It's a Caribbean-inspired series called Islands of Blood and Storm. A year later, we have the sequel, and oh man, am I excited to continue this very important story. I'm also very grateful to have this because it doesn't release until December 1st. This is a magnificent book and one that is unflinching in its portrayal of slavery and white supremacy. This is really unlike anything I've ever read. On a more surface level, it just feels really refreshing to read. It's a fantasy novel that takes place on tropical beaches, jetties, and boats, as opposed to like forests and taverns and castles, which are my favorites, but it's just really refreshing. Also, the covers match so beautifully. I have 2 more books left before we go on to the Outcrate boxes, and I have Legacy of Steel by Matthew Ward. This is the sequel to Legacy of Ash, and man, this copy is beautiful, and he's thick. This book comes in near 730 pages, and it's just epic in every sense of the word. The next time you walk into the bookstore, this will clearly announce its presence to you. The plot of this novel centers around war, rebellion, family, political scheming, dark magic. Yeah, these are all like really familiar elements, but Ward really brings something new to the table with the first book, with all of the high praise and love it's gotten from fellow reviewers. Well, while we're speaking of chunky AF fantasy, let's take a look at another. The Poison Prince by S.C. Emmett. The sequel to The Throne of the Five Winds. I am so excited to have the sequel on hand because I want to delve into the first one in the near future, and it just sounds like such a schemy Game of Thronesy styled story about 6 princes fighting for the throne. I believe it's Asian inspired. It just seems like such an entertaining world to immerse myself in. So that is it for the individual books. Now I have 3 Owlcrate boxes to open. I have 2 special editions, both of them right here, and then I have the normal monthly box, which is the October box. Now I am a rep for Owlcrate, so all 3 of these were sent to me from Owlcrate, which I'm very grateful for, and you can use my code HOLLY on your very first subscription to save some money. Now let's go ahead and start with one of these. I am thinking the smaller one, so I'm guessing the Deadly Education box. So let's see what's inside. Owlcrate presents A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, exclusive deluxe edition. Here's the back. Ooh, exclusive enamel pen designed by Paperback Bones, which is right here. Just gotta get the plastic off. There we go. Oh wow, this is so pretty. Mina and Melia. It's very shiny. And if we move the noodles, we have the book. There is no dust jacket. Here's a little bit of a close-up. It has gold sprayed edges, which is really pretty. It also has a ribbon bookmark, which is fancy. So I do know all about the controversy centered on this book, so I will be going into it when I do read it with everything that has been mentioned in mind. I did kind of, I really hated Uprooted, and to this day I still hate it, by this author, but I always said that I'd give her another chance, and you had to fork up again, didn't ya? So I say we go ahead and move on to the next special edition box, which is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is enormous. I did not expect it to be this big. And here is what's inside. Owlcrate presents The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, box in collaboration with V.E. Schwab. The enamel pin, whoa, this is so delicate looking, with the pale pink. A story is an idea, wild as a weed. One of the prettiest pins I've ever seen, oof. The mother load of packaging noodles. I could stuff a pillowcase with this. Ooh. That smells so good. Okay, imagine melting white chocolate over like a fire. That's what it smells like. Oh, I love that. A little black box. Owlcrate exclusive wooden ring placeholder. Place your thumb in the wooden ring to help keep the pages open. Well, this is classy. I've never used one of these before, but I'll give it a try. Wow, this box is heavy as heck. It's pretty, that's for sure. What the heck is in it though? Ooh, Addie Perpetual Wooden Calendar. And this is what was inside. This beautiful, really heavy, really well made wooden calendar. It has multiple blocks for the days of the week, multiple blocks for the months, and then you can change the number. It has a quote inside. It is so pretty. This is one of my favorite items for sure. And we have another long box. What is it, a selfie stick? Are those a thing anymore? And here is what was inside. We have a water bottle which has some quotes on both sides, and you open it up, it has like a strainer. Oh, that's cool. To strain like tea, fruit, whatever the heck you want, chocolate, I don't know. See the inside, feels good in my hands. We have a beautiful notebook. What a luxury to tell one story, to be read, remembered, and it has sprayed edges. That's so cool. Oh wait, I didn't expect it to have anything inside. I expected it to be blank, but it's kind of like a planner. So it's really funny. When I got this book out of the box, I thought it was missing the dust jacket because it just looks like the normal edition with a missing dust jacket. I'm really surprised it looks like this. Like, I wish there were more designs on it to make it a little bit more special. Like, still stick to the browns and the golds like the book's original theme, but it's just text. This seems really unlike Owlcrate. I'm really surprised. And here's what the back looks like, which has a really cool design on it. The spine is just normal, the front is just normal. Huh. How do we feel? Well, if they were going for a book that looks invisible, they achieved it. And hey, maybe that's what they were going for. Anyways, I'm very excited to read this nonetheless, and I'm so happy to have it in my possession. And then finally, we have the normal October box. The theme for this was legends and lore. We have the enamel pin, which is huge. When the shadows rise, so will the light. Mine does have a small blemish, but that just makes it more special. We have a cute box. No matter where we are, we'll always share the same sky. We can always find each other in the same constellation. Bamboo phone stand? So it comes in 2 pieces. Here is the quote, and you just put it together like this. So it's kind of like a little stand, and then you put your iPod or phone or whatever on it like that. And it has a little hole right here so that you can charge it. That's cute, I gotta say. And yet another box. Loving these printed boxes. Everything always seems sweeter in the minutes before darkness descends. Wind chimes! Oh boy, my mom is going to steal these away from me. And they have special powers. They randomly summon cats. And then we have a little box, which my cat stole from me. And inside that little box was this. Whoa. It's a nail filer.
So, what do you guys want to gossip about?
Ooh, that kind of hurts my soul a little bit. We have some soap that says plant-based soap bar. Oh wow, it's a mess. That's strong. That is a strong scent. Just smells like earth. I'm gonna be washing my body with earth. And then finally, we have this. Legend Born by Tracy Dion. Wow, this book is so pretty. Holy smokes. I wish the Addie LaRue book looked like this. So we have the author letter, and then we also have a signature. So here's what it looks like naked, and we have some artwork on the back of the dust jacket, which looks like this. I really want to give you a close-up of this cover because there are silver detailing around her like superpower arms. Can you see it? Can you see it? I don't know. I believe this is an Arthurian legend retelling. I could be wrong, but I see Merlin, so yeah. So if you want to get the next box, which I highly, highly recommend, the theme is called Growing Wild, and every single box is going to include the annual planner. I would not miss out on this. Use my code Holly and snag yourself a box. So that is going to be it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm so sorry this was probably really long. I built up a lot of books, man. Subscribe if you haven't. I upload videos every single week. Follow me on Instagram at Holly Hearts Books and on Twitter at Holly Neeks. And until we meet again, happy reading.